The galaxy shattered, Earth's brutal response to a million-year truce. The sky burned red over Seoul as Commander Hana Park raced through the emergency command center. Warning sirens blared throughout the complex as technicians scrambled between monitoring stations. Outside, unknown vessels had appeared in Earth's orbit without warning, massive ships that had somehow bypassed all detection systems. "Status report," Hana demanded, her uniform still half-fastened from being woken minutes earlier. 78 vessels in high orbit, replied Lieutenant Jin at the sensor station. No response to communications. They're deploying smaller craft now. His voice wavered slightly. "Commander, nothing in our database matches these configurations." On the main display, the alien ships moved with impossible precision. Hana had trained for first contact scenarios, but nothing like this. No warning, no approach through the outer system, just sudden appearance. "Get me General Tay," Hana ordered. But before Jin could respond, the building shook violently. Dust fell from the ceiling as the lights flickered. "They're firing on major cities," someone shouted. The tactical display showed impact points spreading across the globe. New York, London, Beijing, Mumbai, all simultaneously under attack. Hana's personal comm beeped. The caller ID showed her parents' home in Busan. With shaking fingers, she accepted. "Hana," her mother's voice came through, unnaturally calm amid distant explosions. "Something's happening." The line went dead as another impact shook the command center. Emergency power kicked in as the main systems failed. "Evacuation Protocol Alpha," Hana announced, fighting to keep her voice steady. "All personnel to emergency transports." As the team rushed to comply, a new alert sounded. Proximity warning. Something was directly overhead. The ceiling exploded inward in a shower of concrete and steel. Hana threw herself behind a console as debris rained down. When she looked up, a blinding light shone through the new hole in the roof. Before she could react, the light intensified, and Hana felt herself being pulled upward. She grabbed for anything solid, but found nothing as her body lifted from the floor. The command center grew smaller below her as she rose into the strange craft hovering above. Inside the alien vessel, Hana found herself in a curved chamber with walls that seemed to shift between solid and transparent. She wasn't alone. Several other humans were there, looking equally confused and terrified. "You are safe for now," came a voice that seemed to form directly in her mind. A tall figure stepped forward, humanoid but clearly not human. Its skin had a bluish tint that seemed to ripple with changing patterns, and its eyes were large and entirely black. "I am Captain Day," the alien continued. "I apologize for not reaching your world sooner." "You're not with the attackers?" Hana asked, still poised to fight. "No. The attackers are Vestians. They have broken the million-year truce by targeting Earth." Day moved to a control panel, and the walls around them became transparent, showing Earth below, and the devastation spreading across its surface. Cities burned. Orbital weapons platforms were cutting swaths of destruction across continents. Hana watched in horror as explosions bloomed across what she recognized as the Korean peninsula. "My family," she whispered. I'm sorry," Day said quietly. "We are collecting survivors where we can, but the attack was precisely coordinated." "Why?" Hana demanded, grief and rage building inside her. "Why attack us? We've barely left our own solar system." "That is exactly why," Dai explained. "Earth was designated a sanctuary world under galactic law. You were to develop without interference until you achieved true interstellar capability. The Vestians have violated the oldest compact in the galaxy by attacking you." As their ship accelerated away from Earth, Hana watched her homeworld grow smaller, fires visible even from space. The dozen or so humans gathered in the chamber, all that this ship had managed to save, stood in stunned silence. "The Galactic Consortium will respond to this violation," Day continued. "But their processes are deliberate. It may be years before action is taken." Hana turned from the viewport, her expression hardening. "Years won't work for us," she said, flatly. How many of your people are helping Earth? Very few. Most obey the non-interference directives. Hana looked at the other survivors. Military personnel, scientists, a few civilians. They all wore the same expression of shock transforming into resolve. Then we'll have to help ourselves, she stated. Take us to this consortium. They need to understand what has happened here. As their ship accelerated to faster than light speed, Hana made a silent promise to her family and her planet. The galaxy had failed to protect Earth under its million-year truce. Whatever came next, humanity's response would reshape the stars themselves. The Nexus station loomed before them, like a massive metal flower. Its petals were docking bays extending outward, its central core a sphere of lights and movement. Hana pressed her hand against the viewport as Captain Day's ship approached. After 2 weeks traveling through what Day called fold space, they had arrived at the heart of galactic civilization. It houses representatives from over 10,000 worlds, Day explained. The Galactic Consortium has maintained peace for 1 million years from this station. Hana said nothing. The 23 humans rescued by Day's ship had spent the journey processing their grief and planning their next steps. She had emerged as their leader, not just because of her military rank, but because she remained focused while others fell. Apart, the ship docked with a gentle bump. When the airlock opened, Hana and the other survivors faced their first view of alien diversity. Beings of all shapes, sizes, and compositions moved through vast hallways. Some floated in bubbles of liquid, others crawled on multiple limbs while many walked upright like humans. They're staring at us, whispered Dr. Sun, one of the scientists saved from a research facility. They should stare, Hana replied coldly. We're what failure looks like. Day led them to temporary quarters, a habitat adjusted to Earth normal conditions. The council will see your representatives tomorrow, he said before leaving. Choose them wisely. That night, as the others slept, Hana's personal device, somehow still functioning despite being off-network, received an encrypted signal. Her heart raced as she activated it. A familiar face appeared. Admiral Han, commander of Earth's experimental deep space fleet. His expression was grim. Commander Park, our systems detected your beacon. We feared no one survived. Admiral, she whispered, where are you? Beyond Pluto. The fleet was on stealth exercises when the attack came. We're hidden, but intact. His eyes hardened. What's the situation? Earth is burning. 23. Confirmed survivors with me at a place called Nexus Station. The aliens say Earth was protected under something called the million-year truce. The Admiral nodded slowly. That explains the observers we detected over the decades. Listen carefully, Commander. Protocol Damocles is now active. Hana's breath caught. Damocles, the ultimate contingency plan, never meant to be implemented. We've been preparing for centuries, Han continued. Since the first alien crash in 1947, each generation adding to our knowledge, building in secret. The world governments maintained the illusion of limited space capability while developing technologies that could defend Earth. But we failed, Hana said bitterly. We were caught by surprise, but we're not finished. The Admiral's image flickered. I need you to be our eyes and ears there. Learn everything you can. Make them believe we're primitive, devastated survivors. Meanwhile, we'll gather the scattered remnant, our hidden bases on Mars, Europa, and Titan. We've received signals from 12 other survival groups across the solar system. The next day, Hana and Dr. Sun represented humanity before the Consortium Council, a semicircle of beings seated on elevated platforms. They listened as Sun described Earth's destruction, showing recordings from their final moments on the planet. The Vestian attack was unprovoked, concluded an elder with tentacles that rippled with light. This is a clear. Our violation of the million-year truce. What will you do about it? Hana asked. We will debate appropriate sanctions, replied another council member, its crystalline form refracting light. Perhaps within a cycle or two. A cycle? Hana asked. D later. Approximately 3 Earth years, he admitted. That night, Hana met secretly with June, an engineer from their group. Together they infiltrated the station's archives. Day having quietly provided access codes. "Look at this," June whispered, pointing to records on the display. Earth wasn't the first. Thevestians have attacked 3 other sanctuary worlds in the past century. The consortium did nothing meaningful each time. Hana downloaded the information to her device, adding it to what she would transmit to Admiral Han. "They didn't protect us," she said quietly. "And they won't help us recover." "So what do we do?" June asked. Hana stared at the star map showing Earth's location, a tiny dot in an unfashionable spiral arm of the galaxy. "We do what humans have always done when abandoned by those who should protect them," she answered. "We protect ourselves." She left the archives. Her device vibrated with another message from Admiral Han. "Operation Shattered Glass is beginning. Stand by." The lunar base sprawled beneath the cratered surface, invisible to orbital sensors. Hana stepped from the shuttle that had secretly transported her from the Nexus station. After 3 months of gathering intelligence while pretending to be a helpless refugee, she had finally received extraction coordinates from Admiral Han. What greeted her eyes made her breath catch. The cavern stretched for kilometers, filled with ships unlike anything publicly acknowledged in Earth space programs. Sleek vessels with hulls that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it lined the docking bays. Workers moved with purpose between them, loading weapons and supplies. "Welcome to Artemis Base, Commander Park," said Admiral Han, stepping forward to greet her. His weathered face showed the strain of recent months, but his eyes remained sharp and determined. "One of 17 hidden facilities across the solar system." "How?" Hana asked, struggling to process the scale of what she was seeing. "How did Earth hide all this?" "One piece at a time," replied the Admiral as they walked through the facility. When the first alien ship crashed in 1947, world leaders realized we weren't alone. Instead of announcing it, they formed a secret coalition. Each generation built upon the last, reverse engineering what we found, combining it with human innovation. They entered a secure briefing room where 5 other officers waited. Maps of the solar system and beyond displayed on screens around them. "Operation Shattered Glass is already underway," Han explained, activating a holographic display. "Our deep space assets are gathering the scattered remnant, survivors from hidden bases on Mars, Europa, Titan, and the asteroid belt. Currently, we have confirmed 42,000 survivors. Out of 8 billion, Hana said quietly. "Yes." The Admiral's voice tightened. "Which is why what happens next matters so much." The hologram shifted to show a complex orbital diagram. "The Vestians have established mining operations on Earth's surface," continued Han. "They're extracting rare elements from the ruins of our cities. But their pattern is strange, focused on specific locations that don't align with known resource deposits." A younger officer, Major Bay, highlighted several points on the holographic Earth. "They're digging at these sites, all former population centers with no special resource value. They're looking for something specific," Hana realized. "Something they think we had." "Exactly," confirmed Han. "We need to know what. That's your next mission." Later that day, Hana toured the weapons development section with Dr. G, the lead scientist. The laboratory contained technologies she had never imagined possible. "We call this the phase disruptor," Dr. G explained, showing her a sleek, rifle-like weapon. "It bypasses most energy shields by shifting its particles slightly out of phase with normal matter." He handed it to her. "Standard issue for our infiltration teams now." "The consortium believes humans are pre-FTL primitives," Hana noted, testing the weapon's weight. "These technologies are beyond even some of the advanced species I encountered at the Nexus." "That's because we took a different development path," Chai replied. "Most galactic civilizations build on shared knowledge. We developed in isolation, solving problems our own way. It created unique approaches." He led her to a sealed chamber where technicians worked on a small device, no larger than a coin. "Project Prometheus," G said with unmistakable pride. "Our greatest achievement. A quantum consciousness disruptor, It targets the standardized AI protocols used throughout the consortium and Vestian systems. A virus? Hana asked. More like a logic bomb. It exploits fundamental assumptions in their programming architecture. One insertion into their network, and their entire command structure will collapse. As Hana prepared for her infiltration mission to a Vestian mining site on Earth, she reviewed the intelligence gathered so far. The Vestians had violated the million-year truce not just against Earth, but against 3 other worlds before them. The consortium had done nothing meaningful each time. The truce protected them, not us, she told Admiral Han before boarding her stealth shuttle. After we find what the Vestians are looking for, what then? The Admiral's expression was grim, but resolved. Then humanity shows the galaxy what happens when you shatter 1,000,000 years of peace, and why you should never leave survivors who have nothing left to lose. The Vestian mining site sprawled across what had once been downtown Tokyo. Massive. Machines tore through the rubble, extracting materials and scanning for something the aliens clearly valued. Hana, disguised in stolen Vestian worker gear, moved through the camp with practiced confidence. The adaptive camouflage beneath her suit altered her biochemical signature to register as Vestian on their scanners. 3 weeks had passed since her infiltration began. Working as a low-level technician, she had mapped the facility, identified command nodes, and planted quantum transmitters that fed information back to lunar headquarters. Today was extraction day, but not before she discovered what the Vestians sought so desperately. Worker 87C, report to excavation point Alpha, came the order through her communication device. Perfect timing. Alpha was the central dig site she hadn't yet accessed. The excavation point had been the Tokyo Imperial Palace. Now it was a massive pit where specialized scanners probed deep into Earth's crust. Hana monitored a sensor panel, copying data while appearing to perform routine checks. "Careful with that equipment," barked a Vestian supervisor, its scaled skin shifting colors with irritation. "The Archon arrives tomorrow to inspect our progress." This was new information. The Vestian Archon, their supreme leader, coming personally to Earth? The target must be extraordinarily valuable. As the supervisor moved away, Hana accessed a restricted terminal, using codes she had memorized from watching higher-ranked technicians. The screen displayed a 3-dimensional map of something buried. 2 kilometers below, a perfect sphere 20 meters in diameter, composed of unknown material that defied their scanning technology. "The Seed," read the Vestian designation. Further notes indicated it predated Earth's formation, an artificial object that had been present in this location for billions of years. Hana copied the data and sent the emergency extraction signal. She had what they needed. That night, as she prepared to leave, alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. Screens displayed approaching ships, but not rescue craft for her. These were Vestian military vessels under attack from unseen enemies. Every display, Vestian ships exploded silently in orbit. Their defense system seemed useless against whatever struck them. Operation Shattered Glass has begun early, Hana realized. Something had forced Admiral Han's hand. Chaos erupted in the facility as communication with the Vestian fleet failed. Hana used the confusion to reach her extraction point, a maintenance tunnel leading to an underground transit system preserved from Tokyo's infrastructure. June waited there with a stealth transport. "Get in!" he shouted over the rumble of distant explosions. The timing got moved up, it's happening everywhere. As their vehicle sped through the old subway tunnels, June explained, "The Vestian Archon's early arrival forced our hand. Admiral Han activated all strike teams simultaneously. We're hitting every Vestian world and installation in coordinated attacks." "With what forces?" Hana asked in disbelief. "We're just survivors." "Not just survivors," June corrected. "For 70 years we've been building. Ships hidden in gas giant atmospheres, bases in asteroid belts across 12 star systems. Weapons platforms disguised as comets. The Earth governments knew contact would come eventually, and they prepared accordingly." When they reached the hidden launch facility, Hana saw the operation unfolding on tactical displays. Human ships, using technologies that made them invisible to standard Vestian and consortium detection systems, had emerged throughout Vestian territory. 50 worlds simultaneously lost their orbital facilities and communication networks. "The Prometheus device?" she asked. "Deployed across their network," confirmed Admiral Han, meeting them at command. "Their standardized AI systems are collapsing. Their ships can't coordinate. Meanwhile, our quantum communication remains unaffected." The display showed the Vestian Archon's personal vessel approaching Earth, now cut off and vulnerable. "Perfect timing," said Han grimly. "We're going to capture the Archon." Hours later, Hana stood in the Archon's private chambers aboard his now secured vessel. The Vestian leader, his scaled skin pale with shock, stared at her with multifaceted eyes. "Impossible," he whispered. "Your species was pre-spaceflight, under observation, quarantined." "A convenient fiction," Hana replied. "We discovered your monitoring satellite centuries ago and gave you the data you expected to see. Why attack us then? Why destroy Earth?" "Because of what lies beneath Tokyo," Hana said. "The seed. You broke a million-year peace for it. Now tell me why." 6 months after Operation Shattered Glass began, Hana stood on the observation deck of humanity's new orbital command station. Through the massive viewport, she watched the ongoing work on Earth's surface. Green patches had begun to appear where advanced terraforming equipment restored sections of the devastated planet. Ships from dozens of worlds moved through the orbital lanes, many bearing supplies and technology to aid in the reconstruction. The Vestian Archon's confession had revealed everything. The seed buried beneath Tokyo was an ancient data repository left by a civilization that predated even the million-year truce. These precursors had seeded many worlds with their technology, but Earth was special. The seed there contained the complete archive of their knowledge. The Vestians had detected it and broken the truce to claim it for themselves. "Admiral Han is asking for you," said Yuri, her aide, approaching with a data tablet. "The delegations from the Proxima systems have arrived." Hana nodded, taking a final look at the healing Earth below. In 6 months, everything had changed. The Galactic Consortium had formally dissolved 3 weeks ago, unable to maintain its authority after humanity's decisive action against the Vestians. The million-year truce, already broken by the Vestians, had been replaced by a new reality. "How? Many systems have requested protection agreements today?" Hana asked as they walked toward the conference room. 17 more, Yuri replied. "That brings the total to 326 worlds that want to join the Earth Alliance." The conference room was filled with representatives from dozens of species. Admiral Han stood at the head of the table, his uniform now bearing the insignia of Earth's United Military Forces. When Hana entered, he gestured for her to join him. "The Proxima delegates bring interesting news," he said quietly. "The former consortium elder races are consolidating their forces. They're calling us dangerous upstarts who've destabilized the galaxy." Hana wasn't surprised. The elder races had enjoyed their million years of comfortable dominance. Now they faced a species that had not only survived their failure to protect Earth, but had systematically dismantled the Vestian civilization in retaliation. "Let them prepare," she replied. "Meanwhile, we'll continue building our alliance with those who recognize the old order failed them." The meeting proceeded, with representatives from formerly minor powers pledging resources and support in exchange for human protection. When the Proxima delegate, a being composed of crystalline structures that chimed softly as it moved, mentioned concerns about human reliability, Hana addressed them directly. "Your worlds weren't protected by the million-year truce," she said. "We understand what that means. Unlike the elder races, we don't make promises we can't keep." Later, as the delegates departed, Admiral Han joined Hana back at the viewport. "The terraforming team say we'll have the first habitable zones ready within a year," he noted. "People can start returning to Earth soon." "And the seed?" Hana asked. "Our scientists are still deciphering it, but what they've found so far is revolutionary. Technology that works with principles we never imagined. If the Vestians had claimed it, they would have dominated the galaxy." Hana watched a ship from the Andromeda Arm dock with the station. Once a minor trading power overlooked by the consortium, They now brought valuable resources for Earth's reconstruction. Was it worth it? Han asked quietly, the question weighing heavily between them. The price we paid? Hana thought of her family, her home, the billions lost. The galaxy had been broken apart and reshaped by humanity's response to betrayal. The comfortable million-year order was gone forever, replaced by something new and uncertain. Below them, the first green forests were taking root on Earth's healing surface. Around them, former victims of the consortium's neglect found new purpose in an alliance built on mutual support rather than ancient tradition. Ahead of them, humanity would guide the galaxy toward something different, perhaps something better. Ask me in a million years, she replied,